ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री महासरस्वती नमः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। A very good morning to all. This is the second video in our series of Bhagavad Gita. In the first video we have seen the first sloka of the Gita Dhyana. Today we will take the second sloka, that is a stuti to the Vedavyasa, Sri Vedavyasa. Let us start. Om Namostu Devyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullaravindaayata Patra Netra Yena Toya Bharata Daila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Om Namostu Devyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullaravindaayata Patra Netra Yena Toya Bharata Daila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Now let us see the line by line meaning. Om Namostu Te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe. O Vedavyasa, Namostu Te, Namaha Astu Te. We bow down unto you, we salute you. O Vedavyasa, Vishala Buddhe. Vedavyasa is of mighty intellect, very vast intellectual capacity. So, O Vedavyasa, of mighty intellect, we bow down unto you. We say Namaskar to you. Fullaravindaayata Patra Netra. Your eyes are long and beautiful like the petal of a fully blown lotus. So, Vedavyasa's eyes are just like the eyes of Mahavishnu or Sri Krishna. Usually, Kamalaksha, Padmaksha, Padmapatraksha, all these adjectives are used to describe Mahavishnu or Sri Krishna. Same adjective is now used for Vedavyasa. Fulla Aravindayata Patra Netra. The eyes long, reddish and beautiful like the petal of a full-blown lotus. So there is a secret behind it. Vedavyasa is not only very handsome, he is the Anshavadar of Mahavishnu. He is one of the Amshavadars of Mahavishnu. That is why in the invocation to Vishnu Sahasranama, we say Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. Both are inseparable. So addressing both Vishnu and Vyasa at the same time, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, oh Vyasa, who is the form of Vishnu, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave, and Vyasa, who is the Vishnu Rupa. So, being a Vishnu avatar, Vyasa's eyes are also long and beautiful like the lotus petals, just like that of Krishna or Mahavishnu. Yena Toya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Vedavyasa has lighted a lamp here. He has lit a lamp here which is spreading the light of knowledge. That is not the simple knowledge, supreme knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Vedavyasa has lighted a lamp on earth which is spreading Jnanamaya Pradipaha. The wonderful light of knowledge it is spreading. And with what oil he has lit this lamp? The oil is Mahabharata. Yena Toya Bharata Taila Purna Prajwalito. So, with full of Mahabharata oil only, he has lit that lamp of knowledge, which spreads the light of knowledge. So, we bow down to Sri Vedavyasa of mighty intellect, who is having eyes as beautiful as the long petals of a fully blown lotus, and by whom was lighted a lamp on this earth, which is filled with the oil that is Mahabharata, and that lamp is spreading the light of supreme knowledge in the world. So, that Mahabharata Taila, that is a very important usage. Even more important is the Vishala Buddhi adjective used for Vyasa. So, first let us see the implication of the Mahabharata Taila, the knowledge, the lamp of knowledge which Vyasa has lit. He is having Mahabharata as its oil. When Mahabharata was completed, Vyasa made a declaration, unhesitating declaration, that what you find here can be found elsewhere, but you will not find what is not here elsewhere. He was very confident. You may find the contents of Mahabharata, similar contents like Mahabharata in other books or other places, but you will not find anything which is not here anywhere else. Vyasa was so confident about the contents of Mahabharata. It is such a vast book of 1,20,000 slokas, and there are, other than the main plot of the Vamsha, story of the Vamsha of the Kurus and Pandavas, there are 5,500 other sub-stories, Upakathas, in the Mahabharata. All these are used to convey the ultimate Adhyatmic knowledge, which is the essence of the Vedas and Upanishads. Through the vehicle of Mahabharata, through the stories of Mahabharata, Vyasa has given the essence of the knowledge, and in the middle of it is Bhagavad Gita, which is the ultimate Sara of all Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. A complete life science is also incorporated within the Mahabharata. So, Vyasa has done the great job of lighting the lamp of knowledge in the world by using the oil of Mahabharata. Oil that is Mahabharata, which is his creation. Now we come to the other grand usage, Vishala Buddhi. Vyasa is having a mighty, vast intellect. So what Vyasa has done is he has laid the very foundation of Hindu religion. No other person with a lesser intellect could not have done that. So what Vyasa did is, the Vedas, the four Vedas were revealed by Paramatma in meditation to various rishis, and it was spread all over India and elsewhere in the different schools of the rishis. Their students were by hearting it and giving it to the successive generations of disciples, but there was every chance all these Vedas, if they were not codified immediately, those would be lost to the mankind. So Vedavyasa did the cardinal work of compiling all the Veda Suktas from the different schools and organizing Vedas into four principal Veda groups of books. The Rig, Yaju, Sama, Atharva Vedas. That division is the fundamental work done by Vedavyasa, which laid the foundation of Hinduism as an organized religion. Otherwise, we would not have got Vedas in a compendium mode. Thereafter, he knew there were so many philosophical schools running in India, the 6 Indian philosophies, Hindu philosophies of Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Mimamsa and Vedanta. Other than that, our own atheistic philosophy, Charvaka, and all those things were rampant in India. A lot of debates were going, my school is better, this school is better. So everybody was interpreting Vedas and Upanishads in their own suit their own purpose. Then Vyasa, what he did, he wrote the cardinal book known as Brahma Sutras. The book Brahma Sutra codified the Upanishads principles, and he argued it out in that book that the Vedanta philosophy is only containing the true essence of the Upanishads. By giving the all other systems, he took up and demolished their theories and established the supremacy of the Vedanta in Brahma Sutra or the Vedanta Sutra. The author is known as Badarayana, which is who is none other than Vedavyasa. Then he wrote the 18 Puranas and the Upapuranas also, 18 major Puranas. So nobody can imagine such a vast intellect. So the Western researchers and even some Indian researchers came to the conclusion Vedavyasa is the name of a post, an institution. Several people would have sought as Vedavyasa to complete this body of work, such a vast body of work. But we do not agree with this because we know actually they are misinterpreting one portion of the Vishnu Purana in which it is told that there are Vedavyasa, separate Vedavyasas in the 28 creation cycles. But this is a single, what we are going through is a single creation cycle. In this only one Vedavyasa is there. Actually in the coming cycle Vishnu Purana says that Parashara, the Parashara of this cycle will be the Vedavyasa of the next cycle. So different sages will be born as the Vedavyasa in each creation cycle. In our present creation cycle, there is only one Vedavyasa, that is the son of Parashara.